Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, time for another complaint video. I don't have a very good relationship with the holiday season. A lot of bad memories surround the holidays. Actually, this past I forgot to celebrate it, but this past Monday was the 14-year anniversary since I started writing computer games. Part of the reason I started writing the computer games was because I got stood up on a date, if you can believe it. And these last couple of years, every holiday season has been marked by some sort of workplace drama or dating kind of drama. 4 years ago, I was working at a tutoring center, and my boss uh, cut my hours on Thanksgiving Eve. This is very upsetting. It's doubly upsetting because a lot of times I'm introverted, right? A lot of times my work is my only connection. So holidays leave me high and dry. I depending on what I'm doing at the moment, I lose pay, right? I lose my connection at work, and depending on where I'm living at the moment, it's not as bad here in Phoenix, but depending on where I'm living at the moment, the weather can be brutal as well. So holidays hit me on all angles a lot of times, and so I do not have a very good relationship with the holidays, which is why a lot of my big hobbies had to start in the holiday season, right? The computer games and the Bismuth art project, they both started on holiday seasons in large part because of the drama. And also my Lego idea submissions also started in a holiday season, right? Yeah, you know what's really funny? Earlier today, I was realizing that I have so many hobbies these days because as I grow older, I just keep accumulating. Right, I very seldom get rid of a hobby, right? And so I feel like my all of my hobbies are seriously watered down these days, and I'm gonna have to think hard about. That was one of my New Year's resolutions this year is to prune out some of my hobbies because it's getting out of hand. All right. Okay. But I want a few people to go to hell. The boss at that tutoring center 4 years ago now, uh, when he gets to hell, I want something to be have its hours shaved for him. Right? Maybe he gets to meet with somebody really interesting there for 3 hours, but after 2 hours, there's an emergency, a fire drill, something that requires the meeting to be cut short. Right. Um, and also, I want um, I want him to feel what it's like to be treated differently because you're different, right? So, for example, at that tutoring center, I had one coworker who was 17 years old. She was taking some time off to go to graduation, and the boss was okay with that. I had another coworker who was older and took some time off to tend to family. Meanwhile, every time I went to a solar or a lunar eclipse, I was always rushing to get back. To give you an idea what it means to rush back to get to work, you're out in, let's say I'm working in Seattle, right? And you go to Ellensburg to see a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse, and you got to get to work at 3 o'clock. Ellensburg is a 2-hour drive away. Your day your thoughts of work begin long before even 1 o'clock, right? Because you got to be dressed right, you got to be in the right frame of mind, right? At 1 o'clock, you can't be bombed out of your mind, from sleep deprivation. You can't be high on caffeine. Your mental state and your physical state and your presentability, right, create a huge wedge that forces the day to begin long before the beginning of the workday, right? A lot of people don't seem to think about that, right? But I think about it because I care about my students, right? And so go to hell, go directly to hell. Do not collect. Do not even think about collecting 200 bismuth crystals, right? And don't pass heaven, right? That's how I feel about my former boss at that tutoring center. Let's think about recent people. My former roommate. I made the mistake of moving in with my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, and you know what? Had he just not allowed me to move in, I would have been okay with that kind of rejection, believe it or not. But I had a lot of stuff going on. I was, you guys remember last Christmas, I was already lonely out of my mind, and I was still reeling from all the headaches of trying to go it alone in my single life, right? Aside from being single, I'm also cost burdened, right? Which is why I even looked for a roommate in the first place. I had gotten COVID during a summer heat wave, and I had to take care of the logistics of my life by myself, which is what prompted me to start dating again, right? My roommate really hurt me because he's very extroverted, and every time I would sit down to a meal, he would intrude. And when I told him how much it bothered me, he would double down on it sometimes, even. And he would say that I'm not a good person and gaslight me about the situation. He would mutter that, oh, get over your food or something like that. He would do that, and it was very upsetting. What's really upsetting is that I would often put on headphones to tune him out, and then my headphones started disappearing. Three, four, five sets of headphones, they all disappeared. Now, finally, things came to a head. I had to ask another friend to gather my stuff for me because things really came to a head. And when my friend went into the house, he found all the headphones that had disappeared over the course of 2, 3, 4 weeks. And he, long story short, not a pleasant experience. It caused our entire friend circle to completely dissolve. And and then I quickly realized, wait a minute, it's not even the romantic connection I want anymore. It's the logistical and the financial constraints of being single that bothered me, not the lack of a companion. See, when I had COVID during the heat wave, if I had money to order delivery, right, or if I didn't need that roommate, or if I had good money to take good care of myself so I didn't catch the COVID in the first place, I would have much preferred that than a partner, right? That's why earlier today, yesterday before I went to bed, I asked the God of dislikes to entrust me with $10 billion. I went to sleep, and when I woke up, I felt compelled to look up what is the most shorted stock on the stock exchange today, and I bought 2 shares. I forgot what I see. That give you an idea how crazy I've been going over that. I don't even remember what company that was. Let me look it up. Give me a second. Is the most shorted stock right now? The stock I bought was LCID. What is that? Lucid Group Inc. And I have no idea what they do. All I know is that they have a 50% short position. And I bought 2 shares, the equivalent of buying a lottery ticket, but with a little bit better odds, I would say, right? Because I can't take it anymore. I like my single life. I love my solo sexual relationship, but I hate having to compromise for somebody. What I really need is a solo. I want to marry money rather than a human, right? Hey, money, will you marry me, right? That's how I feel about the situation. I don't know. Maybe I should make a movie about it, but that's how I feel. I would so much love to marry a large statue made of all sorts of precious and strategic metals. Right? I'll walk down the aisle with such a thing one day. I really will. I really will, because that's how I feel. That's how I feel about my logistical life, if you will. Right? Um, and then there was a few other people that got in my way this year. They could all go to hell. I I had a student. I was working at a different tutoring center for SAT prep. It was remote. I had a student. I was already very ill, and the student showed up with an overflowing toilet as his background on Zoom. And when I told him to please turn it off, he came back with an even more disgusting overflowing toilet picture. I had to kick him out of the Zoom meeting. And then I turned my head and I vomited into a trash can. That's how disgusted I was. I hope he goes to hell. Why is it that these annoying people always seem to have the best time, like get the best jobs and have the best spouses, and often live to be 1,000 years old? Why is it when everybody else struggles and dies in their 30s from a drug overdose? That's what I don't understand. Can anybody explain that to me? Like, I'm 5 years old, right? These people often hit the short squeeze jackpots. They often marry somebody that everybody else is jealous of, and they live to be 130 years old. Why? I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I wasn't joking when I said I'd like to marry a big stack of money, right? Like a statue made of every precious metal on the periodic table. I really will walk down the aisle with such a statue one day. I really will, because I'll be very happy if I had a good amount of every precious metal out there, right? All right. Please sing along with me, gesture at your screen, hit the dislike button in support. Whoever left a like, would you mind changing it to a dislike, please? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Let's pray to the God of likes a few times too. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Let's pray to the God of shits a few times as well. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. The Peter Shit Show. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum.